Assalamu alaikum students, my name is Syed Awais Rizvi. Today I will teach you grade 9 chemistry and our topic is periodicity of properties. So the topics that we will discuss, let me share my slides. You can see that on the screen that the topic that we have to discuss is shielding effect, ionization energy, atomic size and electronegativity and electron affinity. And the first topic that we have to discuss is shielding effect. So before starting this topic, we should know that what is shielding effect. So let me show you. As you know that you have learned about the periodic table and the elements that are present in the periodic table. So the concept of the shielding effect arises from these elements. Basically, the shielding effect is the reduction of the force of attraction between the nucleus and the outermost shell electron due to the presence of the inner shell electron. अगर मैं इसको एक्सप्लेन करता चलूँ तो आप ऐसे समझ सकते हो कि जब आप शील्डिंग इफेक्ट एक ऐसी आप ऐसे समझ सकते हो कि एक ऐसा इफेक्ट होता है कि जैसे जैसे आप पीरियोडिक टेबल में मूव करते जाते हो तो नंबर ऑफ़ शेल्स बढ़ते जाते हैं। तो नंबर ऑफ़ शेल्स इंक्रीज़ होने की वजह से क्या होता है कि आपकी जो आपका न्यूक्लियस जो होता है जो कि सेंट्रली प्रेजेंट होता है और जो आउटर मोस्ट शेल इलेक्ट्रॉन्स होते हैं तो उनके दरमियान में नंबर ऑफ़ शेल्स बढ़ने की वजह से फोर्स ऑफ अट्रैक्शन वीक होना शुरू हो जाती है। यू कैन कंसिडर एज के जैसे एक शील्ड के तौर पे वो इनर शेल्स एक्ट कर रहे होते हैं कि जैसे जैसे आप टॉप टू बॉटम अभी हम ट्रेंड्स भी पढ़ेंगे आगे जाके ट्रेंड इन ग्रुप पढ़ेंगे ट्रेंड इन पीरियड पढ़ेंगे। तो मैं आपको ज़रा बोर्ड पे भी बताता हूँ आपको इस बारे में। लेट मी शेयर माई स्क्रीन, वेट अ सेकेंड, let me explain you can, I think so कि you can see my board. Yes, so you can see that as you know that you can open the periodic table and you can check. Currently I'm telling you that lithium atomic number is 3. So lithium atomic number is 3. It's mean that you have learned the electronic configuration in the previous chapter, in your chapter 3 and your chapter 2 के पहले शेल के अंदर आपके 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन होते हैं. So you can write it 1s2 then 2s1. You have learned in the previous chapter. So in order to draw its structure, the first shell of the lithium will contain 2 electrons and the last shell, its valence shell electron, will contain 1 electron. So the lithium will have only 3 electrons and 1 electron in its valence shell. Similarly, as you know that the sodium atomic number, you can see the periodic table, it is present in your book, that sodium atomic number is 11. So we are writing its electronic configuration. I hope so that the electronic configuration concept is clear to you, that first is 1s2, first subshell contain 2 electrons, then 2s2, then 2p6. These are 10 electrons and then we have to fill the 11 electrons. So last shell will have 3s1. So now we will draw the sodium shells. Let me draw. First shell contains 2 electrons. Second shell contains 8 electron and the last shell contain 1 electron. So the theme that a concept I want to share with you, that you can see that in case of lithium there are only 2 shells. You can count it, first shell, second shell. But in case of sodium you can count that there is 1 shell, first, I am pointing it, second shell, and this is third shell. So you can see that as we move top to bottom, the number of shells start increasing. And then you can also see that in case of lithium, there are only 2 electrons in the inner shells and 1 outermost shell electron. Outermost shell electrons means the valence shell, the last shell. But in case of sodium, you can see that the inner electrons are, first shell contain 2 electrons, second shell contain 8 electron, and the inner shell electrons are total 10 electrons. So that as we move top to bottom, the number of shells increases. In case of sodium, you can see that there are 2 inner shells, whereas in case of lithium you can see that there is 1 inner shells. So as the number of inner shells increases, or in simple words you can see say that as the number of shells increases, the shielding effect also increases. That is the point that I want to discuss with you. The number of shells increases, the shielding effect also increases. And you can see that you can continue in the periodic table. If we move, take another example of potassium. Potassium atomic number is 19. So I will just draw its shell. First shell contains 2 electrons. Second shell contains 8 electrons, so it is 10. Third shell contains again 8 electrons, and the last shell will contain 1 electron. So now you can count its shells. How many shells this potassium have? One shell. This is first. This is second. This is third. This is fourth. Whereas in case of lithium, you can see that lithium has only 2 shells. Lithium has only 2 shells. Sodium has only 3 shells. Potassium has only 4 shells. So you can see that the number of shells keep on increasing. So as the number of shells increases, the number of inner electrons also increases. So the inner electrons or these shells act as a shield. आपको shield का मतलब पता होगा कि in other words हम कह सकते हैं वो रुकावट करते हैं. तो जिसकी वजह से वो फोर्स ऑफ अट्रैक्शन को अपोज करते हैं. न्यूक्लियस और आउटर मोस्ट इलेक्ट्रॉन के दरमियान में जो फोर्स ऑफ अट्रैक्शन होती है उसको रोकने की कोशिश करते हैं, उसको अपोज करने की कोशिश करते हैं, जिसकी वजह से जो आपका सेंटर में जो न्यूक्लियस प्रेजेंट होता है और जो आपका आउटर मोस्ट शेल में जो इलेक्ट्रॉन प्रेजेंट होता है उनके दरमियान में जो फोर्स ऑफ अट्रैक्शन है इट बिकम्स वेरी वीक. द फोर्स ऑफ अट्रैक्शन बिटवीन द न्यूक्लियस एंड द आउटर मोस्ट शेल इलेक्ट्रॉन बिकम्स very weak due to the presence of these shells. And I give you an example that as we move top to bottom in a group, the number of shells keep on increases. These I am discussing the basically trends of groups of shielding effect, and I will share a slide with you. You can also read it from them. Currently I am explaining you that as we move top to bottom in a group, you can open the periodic table and you can see that I will also show you a periodic table also, and it is also present in your book. I will tell you a page number. So as we move top to bottom in a group, the number of shells increases. You can say that in lithium there are 2 shells, in sodium 3 shells, potassium 4 shells. So number of shells increases, so shielding effect also increases. So basically we can say that the shielding effect is the reduction of force of attraction between the nucleus and the outermost shell electron due to the presence of inner shell electrons. Now I will show you your book where it is written. Let me open your book. This is your book and it is the topic. This is grade 9 chemistry. You can see that here it is showing in the book that the lithium has 2 shells, magnesium has, it is discussing the trends in period. I will also discuss the trends in period. First of all I will show you the trends in group that it is showing. You can see that here it is written that as we move top to bottom in a group, the number of electronic shells increases. So the number of electron also increases. Now he is asking that which atom has greater shielding effect, lithium or beryllium. So in case of this is the trend of period. We will discuss it later. But in case of beryllium or magnesium, you can tell me that which has a greater shielding effect. First of all, in order to know the trends, you have to check that whether beryllium or magnesium belongs to a same group or same period. How can you know it? You can know it by writing their configuration. As you studied in the previous chapters that the number of valence electron shells tells us the group number of the element. So you can write the configuration and find its group number. So which has the greater shielding effect? We will say the magnesium will have greater shielding effect. Magnesium will have greater shielding effect because it contains the more number of shells as compared to beryllium. How? You can see that beryllium has here in your book 4.3 figure, beryllium has 2 shells and magnesium have 3 shells. You can count it. So which has more number of shells? Magnesium has more number of shells. As I stated earlier that the element that contain more shells has a greater shielding effect. And now we can read our slides. You can see that on the slides it is written that shielding effect is the reduction in the force of attraction between the nucleus and the outermost electrons due to inner electrons. Inner electrons blocks or shield outer electrons. Mean to say ये कहना चाह रहे हैं कि inner electrons जो present होते हैं, जो अंदर वाले electrons होते हैं, वो nucleus को as a shield के तौर act कर रहे होते हैं. जैसे आप ऐसे समझ लो कि 2 magnets हैं, अगर आप उनके दरमियान में एक piece of wood ला के रख दो तो वो जो wood होगी वो as a shield के तौर पे act करेगी. वो उन 2 magnets के दरमियान में force of attraction को weak करेगी. इसी तरीके से आप यही समझ लो कि ये जो इनर इलेक्ट्रॉन्स भी होते हैं ये भी एक एज अ शील्ड के तौर पे ऐड करते हैं. जो नेक्स्ट है ये आप ऐसे समझ लो कि अब रिमेनिंग जो है ट्रेंड्स इन पीरियड्स हैं, तो पीरियड्स के जो ट्रेंड्स हैं, इट इज़ क्लियरली रेटिंग दैट शील्डिंग इफेक्ट रिमेन्स सेम एज वी मूव लेफ्ट टू राइट इन अ पीरियड। आपने एक बात याद रखना है कि हम पीरियड के अंदर लेफ्ट टू राइट मूव करते हैं और ग्रुप के अंदर हम टॉप टू बॉटम मूव करते हैं। नाउ द क्वेश्चन अराइजेज इन योर माइंड के शील्डिंग इफेक्ट जो होता है वो लेफ्ट टू राइट सेम क्यों रहता है? तो इसका सिर्फ से सबसे सिंपल आंसर होगा, आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू दैट कि when you move left to right in a period the number of shells remain same। आपने याद रखना है कि नंबर ऑफ शेल्स पे शील्डिंग इफेक्ट डिपेंड करता है। सो नंबर ऑफ शेल्स रिमेन सेम इन periods। So number of shells remain same in periods। You can see that on board I am writing, you can note it। या आपने लिख लेना अपने नोट्स में कि ट्रेंड इन पीरियड्स। आप अगर साथ साथ बेसिक पॉइंट्स बनाते जाओगे तो ये आपके लिए एग्जाम से फ़ायदा होगा। तो आपने इसके अंदर याद रखना है कि द नंबर ऑफ शेल्स रिमेन सेम इन पीरियड्स, सो शील्डिंग इफेक्ट रिमेन, सो शील्डिंग इफेक्ट रिमेन कांस्टेंट, सो शील्डिंग इफेक्ट रिमेन कांस्टेंट। I will give you a short example in order to understand this। कि आप ऐसे समझ लो कि पेपर में आपके एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन आता है कि विच हैज़ द ग्रेटर शील्डिंग इफेक्ट, सोडियम और मैग्नीशियम। इन फेडरल बोर्ड इट इज़ एन एसएलओ बेस्ड क्वेश्चन, सो you should know that which has a greater shielding effect, sodium or magnesium। First of all, you should know that whether they belongs to a same period or group। You can know it by writing its configuration। If you forgot it, I will repeat in the next lecture। So sodium has, I will writing its configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s1। Similarly, magnesium atomic number is 12, so 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s2। So after writing its configuration, I will draw their shells. Sodium first shell 2 electrons, second shell 8 electron and the last shell 1। Similarly, magnesium first shell 2 electrons, second shell 8 electron and the last shell will 2 electrons। So you can see that both sodium and magnesium has, you can count it, how many shells? One shell sodium, second, first, second and third। Similarly, first shell, second shell and third shell magnesium have। So both have same number of shells। Magnesium has also 3 shells, sodium has also 3 shells and magnesium has also 3 shells। So both have same shells, so shielding effect will remain same because the number of shells are not changing। So the theme of the, or the summary of the topic is that in group shielding effect increases, you can write it its trends in form of rest, you can, I will share the slides, I will share my slides with you and you can also learn from your book। Shielding effect increases in group because number of shells increases and in period it's remain same। I hope you have understand this, and if you have any question you can ask me, okay, whether you have any problem, I will also share my slides with you, you can also read it and I will give you some task and it is mentioning in your book। You can let me share my book where you can see the assignments, you can try it। And the assignment that you have to try is assignment 4.5 in your book, page number 56। You have to try it, in which you have to tell that which has a smaller shielding effect। So hope you have get it all this। If you have any problem, do let me know। Thank you। Allah Hafiz।